A mother murdered her own 4-year-old daughter. And I want y'all to look at that face. I'm going to pause it right there just for a moment while I read just a little bit of this. She murdered her own 4-year-old daughter. How? By what I call a crime of passion. She stabbed that little girl more than 30 times. Did y'all hear me? She stabbed that baby on my screen more than 30 times, partially severing her shoulder and wrist, and that's according to the police. She cut this little girl up so much that it almost severed her body parts from itself, severing her shoulder and wrist, according to the police. That, I can't imagine. Let me let these pictures roll, man. The biological mother, let me get her face on the screen again. Right here, her name is Nicole Terry Lester, 29 years old, and she's been charged with aggravated murder after a little baby by the name of Lainey Vos, which is spelled V-O-S, age 4 years old, was found with a partially severed shoulder and wrist and a number of defensive wounds. So anybody who's familiar with that terminology, what is a defensive wound? Can somebody type that in the chat for me, please, if you know the definition? And I'm going to say hi to all of you guys. I can't say hi to everybody right now. We usually try to do that in the beginning, but I do see y'all in the chat. I want to say hi to everybody that's out there right now, and I'm glad that you guys are here, okay? Do me a favor, and if you would, click that thumbs up. It'll help share our stream and let others know that we're live talking about this. Defensive wounds. Thank you, Full Metal. That means this 4-year-old baby fought back. Why do I bring that up? What is one of my biggest things that I say here? These children cannot speak for themselves, and they cannot what? They can't speak for themselves, and they cannot what? Defend themselves. This is exactly why I say this. Because if this little girl were probably twice her age or even a little bit bigger, then it's a possibility that she might have been able to fight off this evil demon of a mother that she had. If she were 14, 15, or 16 years old, she might have been able to kick her mom's ass. And I wish that would have been the case. What is a 4-year-old baby supposed to do against a 29-year-old grown-ass, stupid-ass woman? That's exactly why I say that. She had a number of defensive wounds. That means that little girl fought, and that hurts my heart, man. Police say that the mother, Nicole Lester, carried out a brutal slaying New Year's Eve using a ceramic kitchen knife at her mother's home in West Valley City, Utah. Not her home, at her mom's home. So that means this stupid broad probably didn't have a place to live. Okay? She now faces the death penalty. Sounds about right to me. They're going to try to give her the death penalty after telling neighbors, I just killed my daughter. Allegedly, she confessed to killing her own child, that baby right there, okay? Police officers from West Valley Police Department arrived to find Nicole Lester, the mother, sitting outside of her home wearing bloody clothing. They placed her into custody. Police officers entered the home and found a juvenile female deceased in the home. Disturbing court documents state that little Lainey Vos was found with defensive wounds to her arm, hands, and shoulders. It adds there were multiple deep lacerations to her chest centered on her heart. There were multiple deep lacerations to her chest centered on her heart. A sharp, bloody ceramic knife was recovered from the house, according to the police. The mother, Nicole Lester, sat outside the home in bloody clothing and told the police she needed to be arrested. That's not my words. That's according to court records. Officers say they arrived to find Lester outside her house saying, I need to be arrested now. Here's another portion. On her device, whatever it was, or whether it was a cell phone, tablet, or computer, her internet search history is said to reveal how the mom had searched, how do you break a neck? The best place to hit someone with an axe, and how to murder. Those three things is what was found in her history. She is said to have searched numerous topics that involved breaking a neck, smashing a head with an axe, breaking bones with an axe, stab wounds to the chest, broken and cracked ribs, also included medical diagrams of a child's chest. We're going to get into that here in a moment. Detectives later looked at Lester's internet search history on her cell phone, so there you go, it was on a cell phone, and discovered that during the month of December that she searched all of those topics, and that's the charges. The search history also included photos and video interviews from murder cases that had received media attention, according to investigators. Now, this baby's autopsy, and y'all can see that that's a hashtag justice for Lainey. An autopsy found baby Lainey suffered more than 30 cutting injuries, including numerous defensive wounds to her arms, hands, and shoulders. The injuries to the girl's chest were so deep and numerous that her heart, lungs, and even her spine had received cutting injuries. Baby Lainey was found in the basement of the home. Guess what? It gets worse. Do you guys want to hear what else? There's more. You guys want to hear the rest? There was a 6-year-old boy also at the house. The 6-year-old boy was found safe and asleep in the home. Let's go back over that again. 2 children in the house. The mother killed the little girl and left the 6-year-old little boy, who was 2 years older than the little girl, left him sleep in the bed, and they found him safely. Was it her son? Have no idea. They did not specify just yet. Yeah, actually, I lied. They did. Officers removed a 6-year-old boy, the suspect's son, from the home and took him into protective custody. I'll read that again. As y'all asked the question, there's the answer. Officers removed a 6-year-old boy, who was the suspect's son, from the home and took him into protective custody. There's the answer. It was her son. So both of these children she gave birth to. How about that? What do y'all want to bet that they're 2 different fathers? I didn't even know they had Coca-Cola Energy, but I got some, even though I shouldn't be drinking this crap, but I'm going to try it anyway. Coca-Cola Energy. How about that? That's exactly what I think it was. Somebody said she hated her or was jealous of her. I think that she was jealous of her, and I think that it might have had something to do with whoever the biological father is. And that's the thing. I don't like for biological fathers to just disappear and not be heard from. I love it more when they speak out and they say something. Let us know something, especially after something like this, right? Let alone, let's move on. He was later released to his grandma, so the 6-year-old boy was given to his grandmother, who was the owner of the home, who had not been present at the time of the attack and death. The grandmother shared the home with Nicole Lester and Lester's young son and daughter. So that stupid broad right there that y'all see on my screen was living with somebody else with 2 kids. And she murdered her own daughter under her own mother's roof. Isn't that something? It gets worse. Y'all want to hear more? How many people want to hear more, and what makes that mother a terrible mother? Do y'all want to hear some more? I have just a little bit more to tell you guys about her. Shout out to my brother Relationship Rehab and my brother Tommy Sotomayor. If y'all not checked them out, two of the hottest YouTubers out there, especially Tommy. I'm just saying, having 4,000 people watching live every show. I'm just saying. I mean, just saying. But shout out to my brother Relationship Rehab. Y'all make sure and check out his channel. I'm just saying, he be having about 500-600 people watching nightly. But shout out to y'all, man. If it pauses, just refresh. That's really all you can do at this point. Either refresh or lower your resolution. I think that's really about all you can do, though. Nonetheless, it gets worse. Nicole Lester, this raggedy-looking bride who looked like she crawled out of somebody's ass, has a history of arrest. She is a fucking criminal. Wearing all this Maybelline and makeup, trying to look cute, looking for some more dick, even though she got 2 children already. I think that's so odd that these chicks are so desperate for a damn man and some dick after they continue to just keep procreating recklessly. It doesn't apply to everybody, but it applies where it applies, and it applies here to a stupid broad like this. She is a freaking criminal with a long rap sheet. Want to talk about it? Would you like to hear it? Like to hear it? Here it go. She has a history of arrest for drug possession, assault, and domestic violence. Lester remains in jail and held with no bail. Lester was booked on a single count of aggravated murder, a first-degree felony. Lester was convicted of a drug possession and possession of drug paraphernalia in 2012, and she pled guilty to the charges, which were later dismissed after she successfully completed probation. Doesn't mean she didn't do it. Also in 2012, she was charged with a misdemeanor assault and domestic violence in a domestic violence incident, according to court records. The case was later dismissed due to witness issues. Doesn't mean that she didn't do it. In 2014, she pleaded guilty to assault in exchange for a second count of assault and a charge of domestic violence in the presence of a child, being dismissed according to court records. As part of her probation, she was ordered to undergo mental health and domestic violence evaluations. A little bit more. In 2013, she pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct in a case that also involves domestic violence, according to court documents. Lester was ordered to undergo a domestic violence evaluation at that time. What exactly does that mean? That means that some people who are prone to criminality, if that's even a word, it's going to be a word today. People who are prone to criminality sometimes cannot get out that mentality. What does that also mean? That some people, hashtag not all, but some people are not fit to be parents, especially if they have mental issues and especially if they have a proneness to violence. Whatever fucking reason it is, if you are a violent person, then you should not be a parent, especially when you have charges from 2012, charges from 2013, charges from 2014, and all of them are surrounded around violence. That gave people plenty of time. If her oldest kid is 6 years old and the youngest is 4 years old, this is 2020, go back 6 years, that'd be 2014. Right in the middle of when her son was born, going through all of this violence, and she produced another kid. Not only was she allowed to produce another kid, but she was allowed to keep custody of those said kids. I'm going to read you guys a little bit of a quote. One person wrote this comment named Alexis Castillo, so I'm going to give her credit. She wrote this just about 10 days ago, and she said, "It's so sad that there are so many people here that actually knew Lainey and did nothing to help her. She died a monstrous death by a very ugly, creepy mother." I agree. "Her ugly mother, inside and out, thinks that she's going to plead insanity by walking out of her mother's house saying, 'I killed my daughter.' Nope. This was premeditated." I agree. "And I think Lainey went to sleep every day not knowing her mother was waiting for the day she'd kill her in the most heinous way. To stab anyone, let alone a baby, breaks my heart, and Lainey grandmother, also an enabler, never stopped this little baby's abuse. She needs the death penalty because Lainey will never be up for parole. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but nonetheless, she could have plotted to give her up for adoption or be placed. That's something else we need to talk about, because these mothers have so many different options. They have safe zones, safe places in every single city and state where they can give up custody of these kids. They could give them to the biological fathers, but instead they refuse to do the right thing and they just want to kill the kids. I don't understand that, and that's never going to be any excuse. Let somebody come in my comment section on this video and tell me that you don't know what she was going through, Just Jay. You must hate yourself. Your mama black. The stupid it is. Maybe her grandparents went through slavery. The Jim Crow law. Let's move on. Let's get a fair usage. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Here we go.
New at 10, graphic and disturbing details have emerged from newly released court documents in the case of a West Valley mother accused of stabbing and killing her 4-year-old daughter on New Year's Eve. Detectives found a gruesome set of online searches on Nicole Lester's cell phone, ranging from breaking necks to smashing a head with an axe, even medical diagrams of a child's chest. Police say they found 4-year-old Lainey Vos with several deep stab wounds. An autopsy revealed more than 30 cutting injuries.
Here's the next video. Let me, first of all, real quick, let me welcome Keyshawn Johnson, who just joined the AFC premiere. That is the top perk that we have for the channel members, and I want to say from my heart to yours, thank you, Keyshawn Johnson. I'm going to absolutely pause the show to welcome our new member. Thank you so much, Keyshawn Johnson. Now, your particular tier actually comes with some additional benefits. So make sure that you look over those, and if you want to take advantage of any of those with me, then just shoot me an email, let me know, but I got you. Thank you so much, Keyshawn Johnson.
Good evening on this New Year's Eve. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. Thank you so much for joining us here for ABC4 News at 5 o'clock.
You updated the record for daughter. We have an open line right now.
Now we're following developing news out of West Valley after a mother allegedly called police telling them that she murdered her 4-year-old daughter.
That mother has been arrested on charges of aggravated murder. ABC4's Haley Hendricks bringing us the very latest details on who she is and the investigation into what police are calling a homicide. Haley.
Hi, you guys. Such sad news coming out of West Valley here this evening and this morning as well. That 4-year-old girl has been identified as Lainey Vos, and this house right here behind me is where she was found dead.
Status is unknown. You updated the record for daughter. We have an open line right now.
You're hearing dispatch traffic of what police are calling a homicide in a West Valley City home Tuesday morning. Police arrived around 5 a.m. to find Nicole T Lester sitting outside her home wearing bloody clothing, according to a probable cause statement. The statement notes when officers went inside, they found the girl's body in the basement with many sharp-edged type wounds. According to Roxanne Vanuku with the West Valley City Police Department, a 6-year-old boy was asleep in a room upstairs.
That boy has been taken by family members at this time.
Court records don't show much of a criminal past, but now Lester faces charges of aggravated murder.
It's hard to even comprehend something like this for sure. Our officers see a lot of terrible things in the work that they do, but this is not something that you see every day, and this is something that's extremely difficult.
Glenn, Emily, we are following this story as it develops, and we'll bring you the latest details tonight at 6. Reporting live in West Valley, Haley Hendricks, ABC4 News.
Here's the next video. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Is facing aggravated murder charges and the death of her 4-year-old daughter in West Valley City. 29-year-old Nicole Lester was booked into Salt Lake County Jail this morning. In the last couple of hours, her mother and son have returned to that home where it happened on Losey Drive. Haley Crumblehome spoke with a neighbor who Lester allegedly confessed the killing to this morning. Haley?
So that's right. I did speak with that neighbor, and actually police have just released some new information within the last 20 minutes. They've identified that 4-year-old that was killed inside of this West Valley City home. Her name was Lainey Vos, and I spoke with the neighbor just next door. She said early this morning around 5 o'clock, Lester banged on her door and allegedly confessed to killing her daughter. And police are saying it was all while her 6-year-old son was still asleep inside. A pink bike and a scooter lay outside the garage, and a Paw Patrol backpack sits on the curb below police tape. A brother and sister used to call this West Valley house home.
Growing up, probably the little boy growing up the most will, have it hard remembering that, the little sister I used to play with is no longer there.
My heart broken when I hear something like this one. They make me sad when someone they kill her daughter. Oh my God.
I want y'all to hear this, because this is a woman who clearly is from another country, and even this got her worked up. Hearing about this American little girl. Let's back this up, and I want y'all to hear. That's real emotion right there, and I can respect that.
No longer there.
My heart broken when I hear something like this one. They make me sad when someone they kill her daughter. Oh my God.
According to a probable cause affidavit, police found 29-year-old Nicole Lester outside of her home in bloody clothes after confessing to a neighbor she had killed her 4-year-old daughter. Few neighbors seemed to know the family, but most had seen the girl riding her bike down the street.
My one daughter said that she had seen the little girl out playing and stuff when they, come home from school and come by, and, the little girl's just, happy and smiling and, look at this and stuff.
According to court documents from 2014, when Lester's son would have only been around a year old, guardianship of the infant was granted to a woman believed to be Lester's mother. The crime scene tape was removed and police were gone by late afternoon, but people in the neighborhood were still processing what had happened just a few doors down.
You never know what goes through someone's head or what's happening in their life.
Police did say that Lester was booked on charges of aggravated murder, but they said the district attorney will ultimately decide all of the charges that Lester will be facing. Live in West Valley City, Haley Krubelholm, 2 News.
So again, to the people that maybe didn't catch that part, yes, there were 2 children in the house. That means a lot, okay? Because that means that she targeted this specific girl. Again, the little girl's full name was Lainey Vos, V-O-S, 4 years old, but we're not going to give out the name of the boy or put out the pictures of the boy because he's still alive, and that could still pose a danger and a risk to him, okay? But he's now staying with the grandmother. For the person, let me see, for this person, Alexis Castillo, who posted that post on the comments and said that she believes that the grandmother was complicit in this, I can't really disagree. I'm going to tell you why. There had to have been something about this woman that she could have seen or should have seen. If she saw something, she definitely should have said something, and it could have saved this baby girl's life. There had to have been some dynamic that was going on. It had to have been something that she heard. There's always what I call red flags and yellow flags. Don't ever let somebody tell you that they heard that from someplace else other than it came from me, because I'm the one that came up with that. Yellow flags and red flags. Yellow flags are warning signs. Red flags are, the siren's going off. We need to call the damn police, like right now. Those are yellow flags and red flags. The National Child Abuse Hotline, thank you again for that. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 800 for a child or 800-422-4453, or just Google search it. A quick Google search, whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, pull it up, call those emergency numbers. Even if you're wrong, if you suspect some real violence or real threat to any of these kids, I personally would rather you call and be wrong after they do an investigation than not call and we lose another child. We know that CPS and some of these other programs have failed some of these children because they do investigations and they don't get it right. That just means that those organizations need to get it right. But let's move on past that. It's not the city's responsibility. It's not CPS, DPS, or anybody like that. You know who the ultimate responsibility falls on? Let's see who posted. Who is the ultimate responsibility? the biological mother and biological father. This is exactly why, fellas, men, we need to be a hell of a lot more careful where we place our seeds and what soil we place it in. Because that very same soil that we place our seeds in, just because it look good, does not mean that it's going to germinate a healthy product. Yes, I just used the word germinate. Just because the soil looks good. That's why you have what they call those surveyors. They come out and come survey the land before you just start planting shit. We need to be a hell of a lot more diligent with our seeds. How many ladies can agree to that? Where are my ladies at in the chat that can tell me that these men, including my goddamn self, need to be a hell of a lot more careful and a hell of a lot more responsible where we place our seeds? Because guess what? With no seeds, there is no product from that. These type of women can be no mothers without the men. It takes two to tango, right? But that doesn't take the responsibility off the women. It actually puts more of the onus because that seed is a gift. And I think that we need to treasure each other as men and women, as human beings in the human race. We need to look out for the children, because I'm going to put that baby's picture back up on my screen one more again, and I'm going to show you guys something. That gets me right here. That hurts my soul. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. I remember, shout out to Crystal Chan. I remember when my daughter was 4 years old. I remember when she was 5. I remember those days very vividly. My daughter spent the majority of her time with me at my house because I used to work, I used to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was off Monday through Thursday just so we didn't have to take my daughter to daycare, and daddy got a job where I was able to take care of myself and all of our bills and to make sure that our daughter was taken care of between me and her mom. We've always taken care of her like that. And I'm going to tell you something. I would protect my daughter, my baby, my angel at any cost on God's green earth. Now, why don't we have more people that care like that? There is no price too high for me to pay to protect my daughter, to make sure that she has every single opportunity to be something great in this world. This world has a lot of awesome things to offer. If you're not sure if this world has a lot of things to offer, travel. Tommy talks about it all the time. Travel. Get out of your cities, get out of your counties, get off your ass, get out of your four walls of your house. Go do some traveling. I just got back from Florida. What an amazing trip. I got more places I plan to travel, whether it be to fly or drive, but I'm going to pull up and see some things and do some things in this life. It's an amazing thing to be able to do, and everybody should. This world has amazing food, amazing places, amazing people, and I think that the more that you're around more people, you should be more cultured. You'll learn more things. It's healthy for the mind. Even the fresh air is healthy for the mind, especially for those who do suffer from mental issues. That little girl fought every second to try to defend herself from somebody that she thought loved her. There's no way in this world that she didn't think that her mom loved her. And she's like, "Mom, what are you doing?" And did her best to try to block and defend herself. And there was nobody there to protect Lainey Vos. She was only 4 years old. She was only 4 years old, and she did not deserve what she got. That little angel deserved so much better. She deserved a family. She deserved a future. And she deserved every opportunity to be something great. I want y'all to look at that baby's face, and y'all tell me, what could a 4-year-old little girl could have done to have her mother think those kind of thoughts about her and perform those kind of acts to her? Little angel, Lainey Vos, Lainey Reese Vos. Young angel, rest in peace. To the mom. I don't know. I hope that something just as bad, if not worse, happens to her, but we know it's not going to happen, okay? So before I get myself in any more trouble, from my heart to yours, I want to say thank you to all of you guys that tuned in and listened. Please click the thumbs up on the way out, and if you feel the need to share this story, please continue to share these stories, because Lainey Vos's life did matter, and I want more people to at least hear about that story. This is one platform where you can hear about these type of stories, where we talk about what matters. Our children matter, our future matters. They're the foundation of everything that we should be living our life for, okay? From my heart to yours, I love you guys. We'll see you guys on the next stream, all right? Peace.